All right. Where I end off at was explaining the word Aleph and Tav in the definition that the translators try to give the Aleph and Tav, because the Aleph and Tav is actually found here. And I'm gonna go back up all the way to Genesis 1:1. It says, in the beginning created Elohim At, Elohim At, the heavens and earth. And I express throughout the Bible that At is a male and female aspect. And the reason why the female is the creative force of the universe, the master builder of the universe, is because the spiritual feminine aspect is what carried out the command to create these things. The sperm is the information from the man, or the command from the man to create life to the egg, to the female. And she adds mass and she adds elements to the baby to give it life and produces. Okay? This is why man and woman are tied together. And this is why man and woman also shows the principle of the creator. And not only does man and woman shows the principle of the creator, but even in the Brit Hadashah, which is called the New Testament, which is really the renewed covenant, shows you that the Messiah wanted to become one again with his creation. And he calls his creation wives or wives. He calls his church a wife. He always shows a correlation between him marrying the church. It's because this is how it was in the beginning. Now let's get down to this. I did not take away from the man in the aspect of creation, but I'm showing the direct result of creation. Who's doing the creative? Who's doing the creating? Who's creating? Who's doing the creating? All right. You have Elohim. He said, "Let there be light." The Spirit was hovering over the face of the deep, and the Spirit is what brought forth the light. The Word, the Aleph and Tav, is feminine and masculine. And we know that according to this as well. It says, and Elohim said, "Let us make man in our image." Our image. Now do not be fooled, because it is some people that know Hebrew that will tell you that this is the plurality of the one majesty, which is the truth. But a deeper understanding is that we are also the plurality of this one majesty. All elements come from one place. Just as the Messiah is the express image of the invisible mighty one, we are also the express image. Because as it was then, it is also now. And all the Messiah did was reenact spiritually what happened in the beginning of creation in Genesis. It says, in our likeness, or in our image, according to our likeness. And let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the air, and over the livestock, and over all the earth, and over everything creeping on the earth and creeping. Elohim At, again, Elohim At, man in his own image, or created man in his own image, but you do not see the create part here. It says, and created Elohim man in his own image, in the image of Elohim, he created them, male and female. He created them and blessed them. Because just like the New Testament describes that a man shall love his woman as he loved himself, and also as how the Messiah loved the church, it is showing you how to appreciate the aspect of the woman. And I believe I already went into how the woman has a creative force as well, just as a destructive force. And this is why we must handle our women with delicacy because of these forces. It is still showing us the creation of the beginning. And we are also to be the men that we are supposed to be. We are supposed to be the head. And we are supposed to be displaying ownership. And with ownership, you have to take care of what is your property. Wisdom said that Elohim possessed her in the beginning. If we are to possess a woman, we have to take care of that woman. Because she's going to push the earth in a perpetual cycle. This is why we have presidents. This is why we have certain life-changing events, because the woman produces the man and the woman. She produces the creative force that makes life what it is. So this is why husbands must love their women. This is why Paul said that the man is the head of the woman, because it's showing the order how the Elohim is also over his spirit. And they are achad, they are one. This is the part of the physics of the Bible that a lot of people don't know about. And this is also the principle of light. Light has two principles, particle and wave. It acts as both principles. It acts as both aspects. This is why we have to become one with the Father again, because we are correlated to a woman being married in Revelations, in the Gospels. We're to become one again. We are the particles of that wave aspect. The woman is the Higgs boson, which is the particle, which is the essence of matter. It gives mass to matter. All right, it gives mass to matter. All right. So I just want to recap on some of the things that I was going over, because it's just a lot concerning the Bible and what it says about the woman, and why the woman is very precious, and why the men have to treat the woman with respect, because they are the creators of our reality. A man is not independent from a woman, nor is a woman independent from a man. We are the Aleph and Tav. And once we come into unison again, just as light has both principles, or both aspects, wave and particles, it also has an electromagnetic aspect as well. And we are to become a unit, and we are to draw people to us. We are to be the light of the world, the light to the Gentiles, to draw them to us, to create a body. This is how mass is measured. Mass is, as I said again, a property of a physical body. Who is the body? The Messiah is the body. The people are the mass. And we are to accumulate more people. And the gravity is to attract other people. And the resistance, okay, its resistance, the body's resistance, is strong enough to where no outside force is to change the direction or the will or the progress that the body is supposed to make and produce on this earth. This is why the Bible is the key, because it is attracting all men to itself, so they can be in relationship once again with the Creator, and they can have a deeper understanding about who they are and their purpose. So I just want the women to understand that you are the creative force. And if you are the creative force, and you can also be the destructive force as well, you have to do your job as women of Yasharel, to not be in the hands of men that will use and abuse you, and that will cause you to do something that is not of the will of the Father, because you are that feminine aspect that He used to create the earth. You are the physical action and expression of the spiritual female principle, the ruach. A man is supposed to be the outer expression of the head authority, which is the father, who gives the command or gives the sperm or the message to the spirit or the mother to create. So if your man is not that authoritative figure, if your man does not follow after the Messiah or is not showing signs and personality of the infinite one, you should not be attached to him, because a destructive force is going to come out of you. And this has been proven through relationships all across the world. It's been proven scientifically that certain things will cause destruction because it is pulling out the negative forces. So we have to be very careful. You really do have keys to the doors of life, women. And men also need to go ahead and, appreciate you guys for who you are, because we are neglecting you. And this is not to get, women to, be all like, oh, King, this is Bible facts, this is scientific, and this is physics. If we do not know how to unify with each other, we will never understand the principle of creation of this whole universe. And if we're never able to do that, then we don't have any purpose neither. We don't know what we're here for. This is why people are doing destructive things to their bodies and taking drugs. This is why homosexuality is rampant, the imbalance of the magnetic forces in both male and female, because we both have male and female principles individually. One is leaning to the male, one is leaning to the feminine, but still both have a part of each other. The imbalance. This is what causes the earth's destruction. I'm just recapping because this is what Eve was able to do. She became wise. She became full of experience. She experienced the disobedience of the will of creation. That's what she did. And she gave to man. And man ate of the fruit as well. And he experienced the disobedience of the will of creation. Because what? An outside force moved them. It didn't move the Father. It didn't move the Spirit. But because we are the outward expressions of the Father and the Spirit, we have to gain back our divinity and our position and our role. This is our job. So understand your power, woman. As the creative force, the master creator of the universe, understand your power. And understand that you cannot give this power to any old man. This man has to come in the likeness of the Father, of existence itself. Now I want to get into something else, and then I'm gonna close it out. And y'all can give y'all feedback and y'all input. I see no men really attended, but it's okay because this was definitely for the women. Definitely for y'all to understand that you are very important to us. And the only way we're going to actually walk into our destiny is when we realize who you are, when we realize what you are. A lot of men haven't done that. All right. Click out of these. And I'm going to stop sharing. Now we went over light property, which is particle and wave. That's in Revelation 21, verses 9 and 11, verses 9 to 11. Also Isaiah 54 and 5, and John 1:11. We went over mass property, which is in Acts 2, 4, 7, John 12, 3, 2, 32, and Isaiah 49 and 6, and also 2 Chronicles chapter 6 and 32. We are the body, and our job is to attract other bodies. This is what mass is. It gives the body the mutual gravitational pull of other bodies. Who are who are we trying to pull to us? The people. And we can find this in 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verses 5, verses 26, verses 27, or 5 to 27. And we can also find this in Colossians 2, 16 through 7. Because the Messiah is the body, the feast days are the body of the Messiah. We are the body of the Messiah. Therefore, we are to practice these things to draw light. To be a light to draw men. We are working on a level of quantum physics. We are working on a scientific level when we're dealing with the Bible. It is very scientific, and it has scientific methods in it to conduct. And we've been conducting that. Do you see how the body, or so-called the body of Yasharel, is growing? How many people are being awakened to who they are, or who they believe that they are, or just attaching themselves to the movement because of what they see in it, because the light that is there. Let us not forget that the Messiah is the light. Let us not forget that. And he has to come unto his own, which is us, who are the particles. And he's going to fuse with us once again on that great day. And also another reminder for those who haven't really heard it, the Shabbat represents the first law of thermodynamics. Nothing new is being added or put into the creation. No new energy or matter is being produced. It's from the same material and from the same energy of the creation of the universe. And that all stopped on Shabbat when he rested from all the creation. Okay? I want y'all to understand that. It's power in you women. And use that power to get yourself aligned up with the Creator. Do not let anybody taint you. Do not let anybody pull you the other way or change your direction. Spiritually, mentally, and physically. This all applies. So with that being said, I know everybody didn't see it. Sunshine, I know you came in kind of late, but for those who did hear it, or the part that you did hear, you can always watch the video over again. This is part 2. I would like to get some feedback from the women to see what your take is on the lesson that I just presented. So you can open your mics now. Anybody?
I think it was really deep. I really did enjoy it. I don't know if you can hear me.
I can hear you.
Yeah, it was very profound and very deep. I'm gonna watch it again so I could catch everything because there's a lot to take at one time.
Anybody else? Lauren?
I have to listen from the beginning, so for me to understand what all just happened since I came in a little late.
Okay.
So I'm going to listen a little bit later to see what it was mainly about. So I really can't touch on it.
Lauren. Okay. Like I said, just for the summary, just to run it all down again. Basically, this video was about the woman is the master universe the master creator of the universe. Because the actual feminine principle that was used was the spirit to make all things, following the commandment of the Father, of the Most High. And a woman can be a creative force, and a woman can be a destructive force. And this lesson is for the women to understand their power. And when the men watch it, it's for them to understand how they can handle this power. Because it should elevate them to get to the level of where the Father was, or where the Father is. We are to be examples. We are to be the expression of the Creator, of the Father. And the women are the example of the Spirit, which is the creative force that the Father uses to bring light. So for men to see this power and understand what this power is, they should prepare themselves to elevate to where they should be at concerning their position as being in the image of Elohim, in the likeness of Elohim, our aspect. Because right now is a seesaw effect that's going on in the earth. And because of people that are scientists, biologists, and other fields of science who extrapolate this information and act as though this information was never known to the ancients and preferably the people of the Bible, they tend to lead people astray, not giving you the understanding of why this is important for us to know, and why do they complicate these equations, these methodologies. Because once people get to understanding and grasp how easy it is to know these things and practice these things and be the actual experiment being done, they can connect with the Father. They can align themselves with the Creator. So this is what this video was all about, and to shed light to those that the Bible is very scientific on an extreme level. And I believe that I proved that today by going into certain scriptures that gives the equation or that gives the simplicity of understanding the equation that was used to build life, to build the principles of life. And the Hebrew has numerics, and these numerics are basically an expression of also how the world came into existence, the universe came into existence, because it's all mathematics. And the Hebrew language is the only language that do this. So this video is just to empower the women, all the women that are in Yasharel, and also to empower the men. But let the women know who they are and what their power is. Because this gives you your destiny. This gives you what you need to have a purpose in life. And it is to continue life. It is to create and cause life to be an experience to others. Another thing that I've read was Eve saw that the tree was desirable to make one wise. It would give you an experience. All right, this is what wisdom is. You can only have wisdom by experiencing something. Nobody can have experience without going through something. So you see that this is a reality change. This is a change of perspective that she was going through, and also what Adam went through, which caused this downward spiral. Which there's also another scientific law, and I think it's called entropy, is that things are decaying now. Energy lasts forever. Energy never dies. Energy can either be created or destroyed. So that's why when the Bible says when you die, you either go to eternal life or eternal death. It's letting you know that regardless of what happens to the body, the energy or the soul or the awareness is going to be continuously living, but in two separate places. One in torment and one in everlasting peace. Both of these are everlasting things. So the laws of science, yet again, still agrees with the Bible. Okay, so this is the point of this lesson. You know what I mean? This is the point of this lesson, and I definitely want y'all to go back and look at it. What I'm about to do is, though, I'm about to stop the broadcast, and we can talk a little bit more afterwards, and just fellowship a little bit, or nobody's busy, anything like that. We can build upon some things, or you can ask some questions, or y'all can relate to each other, y'all experiences as women, and what have you found out about yourself that is significant to a man, that is significant to a child, that's significant to the world. What can you produce, or what do you know that you have inside of you that will bring edification to the world? So with that being said, everybody, shalom, and I thank y'all. This is King Yeshaya, aka God. All right. And that'll be another lesson. But I think the sisters that are up here, the people that are watching, the brothers that are watching, and all praise to Yahuwah and his Messiah, Yahushua. So with that being said, peace. Shalom.